ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 15, Text number 11. Yo no jugopavana etya duranta krachad. Yo no jugopavana etya duranta krachad.
Yo no jugopavana etya duranta krachad.
Durvasaso harirachitad ayutagrabhugayah.
Durvasaso rira chitta dasyuta grab.
Bhugyah. Shakannashishtam upayujya yata srilokim.
Shakayanistapu pujya yata sriloki.
Riptam amamsta salile vinimagna sangaha.
Riptam amamsta salile vinimagna sangaha.
Yo no jugopavana etya duranta krichat.
Yo no jugopavana
Etya duranta krichat. Durvasasori rachitad ayutagrabhugyah.
Durvasasori
Rachitad ayutagrabhugyah. Shakannashishtam upayujya yata srilokim. Yujya yata srilokim. Riptam amamsta salile vinimagna sangaha.
Riptam amamsta salile vinimagna sangaha.
Ya, one who. Na, us. Jugopa, give protection. Vane, forest. Etya, getting in. Duranta, dangerously. Krachrat, trouble. Durvasasaha, of Durvasa Muni. Ari, enemy. Rachitat, fabricated by. Ayuta, 10,000. Agrabhuk, one who eats before. Yeah, that person. Shaka anna system, remnants of foodstuff. Upayujya, having accepted. Yataha, because. Trilokim, all the three words. Triptam, satisfied. Amamsta, thought within the mind. Salile, while in the water. Vinimagna sangaha, all merged into the water. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. During our exile, Durvasa Muni, who eats with his 10,000 disciples, intrigued with our enemies to put us in dangerous trouble. At that time, Lord Krishna, simply by accepting the remnants of food, saved us. By his accepting food thus, the assembly of Munis, while bathing in the river, felt sumptuously fed, and all the three words were also satisfied. So please repeat. During our exile,
during our exile,
Durvasa Muni,
Durvasa Muni,
who eats with his 10,000 disciples,
who eats with his 10,000 disciples,
intrigued with our enemies
intrigued with our enemy,
to put us in dangerous trouble.
to put us in dangerous trouble.
At that time,
Lord Krishna,
simply by accepting the remnants of food,
simply by accepting the remnants of food,
saved us.
saved us.
By his accepting food thus,
By his accepting food thus,
the assembly of Munis,
the assembly of Munis,
while bathing in the river, felt sumptuously fed.
felt sumptuously
fed.
fed.
And all the three words were also satisfied.
And all the three words were also satisfied.
Purport. Durvasa Muni, a powerful mystic Brahmana determined to observe the principles of religion with great vows and under strict austerities. His name is associated with many historical events, and it appears that the great mystic could be both easily satisfied and easily annoyed, like Lord Shiva. When he was satisfied, he could do tremendous good to the servitor, but if he was dissatisfied, he could bring about the greatest calamity. Kumari Kunti at her father's house used to minister all kinds of services to all great Brahmanas, and being satisfied with her good reception, Durvasa Muni blessed her with a power to call any devata she desired. It is understood that he was a plenary incarnation of Lord Shiva, and thus he could be either easily satisfied or annoyed. He was a great devotee of Lord Shiva, and by Lord Shiva's order he accepted the priesthood of King Shvetaketu because of the king's performance of sacrifice for 100 years. Sometimes he used to visit the parliamentary assembly of the heavenly kingdom of Indradeva. He could travel in space by his great mystic powers, and it is understood that he traveled a great distance through space, even up to the Vaikuntha planets beyond material space. He traveled all these long distances within 1 year during his quarrel with King Amrish, the great devotee and emperor of the world. He had about 10,000 disciples, and wherever he visited and became a guest of the great Kshatriya kings, he used to be accompanied by a number of followers. Once he visited the house of Duryodhan, the enemy cousin of Maharaj Yudhishthir. Duryodhan was intelligent enough to satisfy the Brahmana by all means, and the great Rishi wanted to give some benediction to Duryodhan. Duryodhan knew his mystic powers, and he knew also that the mystic Brahmana, if dissatisfied, could cause some havoc. And thus he designed to engage the Brahmana to show his wrath upon his enemy cousins, the Pandavas. When the Rishi wanted to award some benediction to Duryodhan, the latter wished that he should visit the house of Maharaj Yudhishthir, who was the eldest and chief among all his cousins. But by his request, he would go to him after he had finished his meals with his queen, Draupadi. Duryodhana knew of that after Draupadi's dinner it would be impossible for Maharaj Yudhishthir to receive such a large number of Brahmana guests. Thus, the Rishi would be annoyed and would create some trouble for his cousin Maharaj Yudhishthir. So that was the plan of Duryodhana. Durvasa Muni agreed to his proposal, and he approached the king in exile, according to the plan of Duryodhana, after the king and Draupadi had finished their meal. On his arrival at the door of Maharaj Yudhishthir, he was at once well received, and the king requested him to finish his noontime religious rites in the river, for by that time the foodstuff would be prepared. Durvasa Muni, along with his large number of disciples, went to take a bath in the river, and Maharaj Yudhishthir was in great anxiety about the guests. As long as Draupadi had not taken her meals, food could be served to any number of guests. But the Rishi, by the plan of Duryodhana, reached there after Draupadi had finished her meals. When the devotees are put into difficulty, they have an opportunity to recollect the Lord with rapt attention. So Draupadi was thinking of Lord Krishna in that dangerous position, and the all-pervading Lord would at once know the dangerous position of his devotees. He therefore came there on the scene and asked Draupadi to give whatever food she might have in her stock. On her being so requested by the Lord, Draupadi was sorrowful because the Supreme Lord asked her for some food and she was unable to supply it at that time. She said to the Lord that the mysterious dish which she had received from the sun god could supply any amount of food if she herself had not eaten. But on that day she had already taken her meals and thus they were in danger. By expressing her difficulties, she began to cry before the Lord as only a woman would do in such a position. The Lord, however, asked Draupadi to bring up the cooking pots to see if there was any particle of foodstuff left. And on Draupadi's doing so, the Lord found some particle of vegetables sticking to the pot. The Lord at once picked it up and ate it. After doing so, the Lord asked Draupadi to call for her guests, the company of Durvasa. Bhima was sent to call them from the river. Bhima said, "Why are you delaying, sir? Come on, the food is ready for you." But the Brahmanas, because of Lord Krishna's accepting a little particle of food, felt sumptuously fed even while they were in the water. They thought that since Maharaj Yudhishthir must have prepared many valuable dishes for them, and since they were not hungry and could not eat, the king would feel very sorry. So it was better not to go there. Thus they decided to go away. This incident proves that the Lord is the greatest mystic. Therefore is known as Yogeshwara. Another instruction is that every householder must offer food to the Lord, and the result will be that everyone, even a company of guests numbering 10,000, will be satisfied because of the Lord being satisfied. That is the way of devotional service. Wow. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha. Namah Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swaminiti Namine. Namah Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Yo no Jugopa Vana Etya Duranta Krachad Durvasa Sori Rachitad Ayutagra Bhogyah Shakan Shishtam Upayujya Yatastrilokim Riptam Amamsta Salile Vinimagna Sangha. During our exile, Durvasa Muni, who eats with his 10,000 disciples, intrigued with our enemies to put us in dangerous trouble. At that time, Lord Krishna, simply by accepting the remnants of food, saved us. By his accepting food, thus, the assembly of Munis, while bathing in the river, felt sumptuously fed, and all the three worlds were also satisfied. Now, Arjuna is further telling Yudhishthira Maharaj about Krishna, glorious Leelas. And this is one very famous and interesting Leela. Duryodhana had sent Durvasa Muni, okay, because Duryodhana satisfied him. So he asked for a benediction, and people say, do some good to somebody, right? But Duryodhana was an evil guy. So he said, okay, put my cousins in trouble. Just go there when everybody has finished. And here we see few points. Draupadi had a pot given by sun god. So as long as she has not eaten, she can feed any number of people. The moment she finishes, so the last, she's the last one to eat. That's the system even in many families, even now, Of course, as I said, keep saying that things are changing, No, nobody waits for nobody. Because everybody is working, so okay. So here, this Shakanna. Shakanna means actually there's a Shaka. Shaka means a green leaf thing, like palak or something, spinach. Krishna found that. In some place, one Acharya was explaining very nicely. He said when Draupadi saw that, she told Krishna, you eat half and feed the rest of the world with half. It's very nice. I love that. Just a morsel of spinach, and that also Krishna eats only half, and he feeds the rest of it. Here, the moment he put it in his mouth, all this 10,000, they started burping. When you have a lot of food, then you burp, right? So they're burping, and then they said, oh, you're all so full. One is Yudhishthir Maharaj will be feeling bad. Second is, we will die, eating all that, because already our stomachs are full. So Krishna is the greatest mystic, no doubt about that. One time when Rukmini complained to Krishna, I think I told this story, but anyway, it's nice because it's something like this. She said, why you're coming late? All other husbands come in time. And Krishna said, I have to look after so many things. I have to look after this whole creation. So sometimes, some people need my help. I go there. I have to feed everybody. One thing he says, I have to feed everybody. The ants and the elephants and everybody. So I have to feed them. And of course, human beings are also getting fed, but the problem is they are hoarding. And that's why Prabhupada always said there is no shortage. But because we are hoarding, then somebody has too much, somebody has too little. It's all imbalance. So she said, you mean to say you feed everybody? Krishna said, of course, yes. So that day when Krishna went, Rukmini thought that, okay, let me try, like he says that. So she picked up an ant and put her in a matchbox, small dabbi, empty matchbox. And that day when Krishna came, he came late. So she asked, what's going on? Why you are late? And Krishna says, I told you I had to take care of everybody. And today I had a little extra time because some stupid person had put an ant in a matchbox, so I had to feed that ant also. So Rukmini said, oh, she didn't say anything to Krishna, but in her mind she thought, this guy knows everything. So she received him, and then she rushed back to the room and opened that matchbox, and she saw this ant eating nicely on a small little grain there. And she was wondering, I never put the grain there. And so Krishna was smiling here, and he taught a lesson to her that never ever doubt Krishna's greatness, Krishna's power. Never ever doubt, because we think that, oh, Krishna cannot do this, Krishna cannot do that. Yes. He knows everything and he can do anything. That is why he is Krishna. That is why he is God. If God cannot do that, then he should resign from the post. There is no use of such God who cannot do things. Krishna can do anything. That's why he's called, his power is called Achintya Shakti. Achintya. Unthinkable. Inconceivable. So this is a very nice story that Arjuna told Yudhishthira Maharaj. Of course, Yudhishthira Maharaj knows he was there. But this is how it happens. When it comes to Krishna, you keep repeating. Doesn't matter. If you keep repeating, it becomes more relishable. And that's why this Srimad Bhagavatam, since it is touched by the lips of Shukadeva Goswami, Shuka means parrot. This ripe fruit, it is touched by the Shuka, the parrot, like Shukadeva Goswami. And then, the parrot picks up the best fruit, the sweetest fruit he will pick up. He will not touch any other fruit. I remember when we used to buy some fruits, and there's a you can stick a dent in that, like a beak of parrot, and that you pick up first because that will be the sweetest. The same way this Srimad Bhagavatam is the sweetest of all, and we relish it every day. I relish it, and I feel sorry for all those who are missing it. Anyway, we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna Mataji.